This is Jiapeng and Pansuk Siriwipa, a young couple in Singapore who seem to have it all. Private jet flights, luxury cars, designer outfits, and properties both within and outside of Singapore. They were living the dream life until their elaborate $32 million scam was exposed in 2022. The exposé uncovered a carefully crafted image of wealth and trust that deceived hundreds of people. Here's the incredible story of how they pulled off one of Singapore's biggest scams and how they almost got away with it by escaping the city island hidden in a lorry. The story begins in mid-2017 with Pansuk, the mastermind behind it all. At the time, she was spending most of her days in South Korea, captivated by everything K-culture. She loved shopping and living in Seoul, but no one knew how she was funding her extended stay. Rumors later surfaced that she was dating a Korean bar owner in Gangnam, one of Seoul's most upscale neighborhoods. Pansuk was a young and ambitious woman, despite her modest upbringing in Isan, a northeastern province in Thailand, growing up with her single mother, who ran a fruit and vegetable stall. The young Pansuk dreamed of achieving something extraordinary and wasn't content with her standard of living back home. In Seoul, she reportedly claimed to come from a wealthy, even royal family, and boasted about studying in the UK, impressing many with her tales. In early 2019, after breaking up with her Korean boyfriend who had supported her lavish lifestyle, Pansuk returned to Bangkok. This time, she was determined to rely on herself and vowed to take a quicker, easier path to success by scamming people. Just before the COVID-19 pandemic, Pansuk launched a scheme that changed her life. She started selling low-cost items like clothing, line character merchandise, and concert tickets on social media. Customers were required to pay the full amount upfront as a deposit for their orders. At first, she delivered the products to gain her customers' trust. Sometimes, she encouraged buyers to sell their orders to others at higher prices before receiving them, claiming there were interested buyers. This tactic allowed her to avoid delivering the items she had already sold. However, she paid those who resold their purchases, including the promised profits, to keep the scheme going. Before long, the young woman felt invincible, believing she was at the peak of success and untouchable by the law. Just a few months after launching her scheme, Pansuk's scams had raked in over 3.8 million Singapore dollars in Bangkok. But for her, this was just the beginning. She wanted even more. In late 2019, while scrolling through Tinder, Pansuk, then 27, matched with a 26-year-old Singaporean man named Jiapeng. Sensing an opportunity, Pansuk saw P not as just a romantic interest, but as a potential asset for her ambitions. Coming from Singapore, a wealthy country known for its high spenders, P represented a chance for Pansuk to take her operation to a whole new level. P, on the other hand, was a high school dropout with big dreams of making it rich one day. An only child raised by a single mother, he worked odd jobs and had developed a gambling habit that reportedly left him in debt. Meeting Pansuk would change his life forever. Things moved quickly after their meeting in Thailand. Within a week, Pansuk began paying off P's gambling debts in Singapore and showered him with lavish gifts, including Balenciaga shoes worth over $1,000. P was awestruck. This beautiful woman seemed like a dream come true, someone who could provide him with everything he ever wanted. For Pansuk, it was all part of a calculated plan. She saw P as an investment that would yield massive returns. Pansuk wasted no time introducing P to her fraudulent business model, and he was quickly impressed. They agreed to join forces, marry, and relocate to Singapore to take their scheme to the next level. By the end of 2020, the couple moved into a condominium in Bukit Timah with P's mother and got married soon after. In April 2021, P and Pansuk officially launched their scam companies, Tradenation and Tradeluxury, to trade in luxury goods. Businesses seemed so successful that by October 2021, they upgraded to a landed property in Holland Grove, one of Singapore's wealthiest neighborhoods. Using the same tactics Pansuk had employed in Thailand, the companies appeared legitimate but operated as Ponzi schemes. This time, they sold luxury watches and bags on a pre-order basis, requiring customers to pay in full before goods were delivered. To attract buyers, P and Pansuk sourced items from overseas, offering pre-order prices 10% to 20% lower than those of local resellers. The companies also allowed customers to consign previously purchased items or sell their own luxury goods through them. Tradenation gained popularity thanks to Instagram influencers, positive reviews on Carousel, and even a physical store that lent credibility to the scheme. However, by late 2021, trouble began. Delays from overseas suppliers forced them to switch to costlier local sources, and both companies started losing money. By February 2022, Pansuk realized they couldn't fulfill all their orders due to insufficient funds. Despite this, she continued operating as usual, using new payments to cover earlier orders. This desperate cycle resulted in massive losses, as they were buying goods locally at higher prices and selling them for less. By March 2022, the companies were nearly 9 million Singapore dollars in debt. Yet Pansuk kept accepting pre-orders until June 2022, ultimately cheating 166 victims out of more than $12 million. Despite their businesses running at a loss, P and Pansuk maintained a lavish lifestyle, funded by money from their scams. P received a monthly salary of $40,000 from Tradenation between December 2021 and May 2022, and an additional $12,000 a month from Tradeluxury between March and May 2022. Pansuk earned $10,000 a month from Tradenation from January to June 2022. Their extravagant spending was staggering. $2 million on a property in Bangkok for Pansuk's mother. $58,000 on a private jet to Bangkok for a holiday. $140,000 as a down payment on a Chevrolet Corvette in P's name in April 2022. P already owned 3 cars, a Toyota Alphard, a McLaren, and a Porsche. Other indulgences included $120,000 on renovating and furnishing Tradenation's physical retail store, frequent private jet holidays to destinations like London and Japan, regular dining at high-end restaurants. Their opulent lifestyle painted a picture of wealth and success, masking the fraudulent foundation of their businesses. As undelivered orders piled up, so did complaints from customers. Many had paid thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars for luxury watches and bags that never arrived. The scale of the scam became clear as dozens of victims reported their losses to authorities. By then, over 180 reports had been filed, with claims totaling more than 32 million Singapore dollars in undelivered luxury goods. In June 2022, P was arrested for suspected cheating but was released on bail. Meanwhile, Pansuk cooperated with police investigations. Both had their passports impounded and were barred from leaving the country. However, the couple had no intention of facing justice. On July 4, 2022, P and Pansuk executed a daring escape from Singapore. Using a lorry's container compartment, they fled the country, evading authorities. Their disappearance shocked the public and further outraged their victims, who demanded accountability. The couple's escape launched an international manhunt. For over a month, they remained on the run, reportedly hiding in Malaysia. Meanwhile, Singaporean authorities worked closely with regional partners to track them down. On July the 20th, the Singapore Police Force, SPF, released the names of the couple and confirmed that arrest warrants and Interpol Red notices had been issued. The registrations of Tradenation and Tradeluxury were also subsequently suspended by the Law Ministry. On August 11th, 2022, the Royal Thai Police informed the Singapore Police Force, SPF, that the couple might be staying at a hotel in Johor Bahru. Acting swiftly, the SPF sought assistance from the Royal Malaysia Police, who promptly executed the warrant of arrest in Johor Bahru. The couple was captured and extradited to Singapore shortly after, ending their month-long escape. Their arrest brought relief to their victims, though it marked the beginning of a lengthy legal battle. Additionally, the Malaysian driver, who had helped the couple escape by hiding them in the lorry's container compartment, was also arrested. In October 2024, Pansuk Siriwipa pleaded guilty to 30 charges, including cheating and money laundering. Another 150 charges were considered during her sentencing. Prosecutors highlighted the scale of the scam and her lavish use of the victim's funds, pushing for a jail term of 14 to 15 years. Her husband, Jiapeng, faced 9 charges, but his case was still ongoing. The couple's actions were described as premeditated, calculated, and driven by greed. The story of Jiapeng and Pansuk Siriwipa is a cautionary tale of how appearances can be deceiving. Their $32 million scam and eventual downfall underscore the importance of vigilance and the long arm of the law. While justice has begun to catch up with the couple, the scars they left on their victims will take much longer to heal. Thank you for watching.